Yeah, just we'll see.
That's awesome because I hit record just to get that reaction.
That's
Um,
great.
all right. Welcome to Talking Spatial. I'm Sean. That's
And I'm
over.
Linda.
That's
Yes.
Linda over
Hello.
there.
Hello.
And Linda is playing around with green screen backgrounds,
Yeah.
even though but they look really good on your end. So evidently you have a decently powerful PC, and you keep pulling up what I think is something that really you need to have behind you for the
I
whole
will
show.
I'll turn on. Yeah, I'm writing this speech for Facebook next week. There's a lot of talk in my head around what is the blurring between reality that's happening, right? Between, artificial humans and AI driven interaction and things like filters, which are, really simple in a way. They're actually amazing how they track, in 3D your face and all kinds of stuff. So my mom was over this weekend, and we were bored. We can't leave the house. There's not much to do. So I pulled out my phone and we started playing around with these Instagram filters, which are hilarious, some of them, right? And I Instagrammed my mother. I mean, it was hysterical. And it got me thinking because the reactions to it have been across the board interesting, right? Some people, it's hysterical. It's fun. It is what it is. It's taken 25 years off my face. I love that. I could be a cat. I could be whatever I want to be. It's been really fun. And then some people are just like, I think this artificial, it's not real and it'll never be as good as real. And it makes me think, what is real? What is real? Why is it less real when I have an idealized version of myself that reflects what I feel like that day? Any less real than just me? I think it's hysterical, and I think it's an interesting philosophical, a little bit question. And then it got me thinking because one of the filters was really good, and I got up and I was hanging out with my mom, and I looked pretty crappy, and so we were doing these Instagram filters, and my mother actually was a big time fashion model in Europe for years before she got married, and she's a very attractive woman. She photographs like, she's perfect. In her 80s, she still stops traffic. And she just looks at me and she says, God, I don't even have to look good anymore. This just like, wow. I'm like, I know, because it made me look like a movie star. And I really didn't when I was sitting there doing the things. And then I was like, well, damn, one of them was really nice. I want to run out and buy that eyeliner. Like, it really made me look good. And then I was like, well, why can't I do it on Zoom? Why can't I have those, and I know you can through Snapchat, but it increasingly, it's like, I think people are going to be held to standards that are artificial.
Well,
And
they
then
already
all of a
are.
sudden, right, exactly. It's going to be even more so. Like, everyone's going to look like that anime character, and they're going to start wanting to do it in real life. So this, this blurring between what is artificial and what is real is fascinating to me, because what is real? And that's another question that's been brought up a lot in these last couple of years anyway, in the real world. Like, what is
Oh,
real?
it's been seriously brought up since last March.
No,
Like
yeah,
it's
well,
yeah,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
we've gone down the wormhole. How deep is the wormhole? The wormhole is infinite.
Well, funny enough, they have me questioning what is real. I'm like, well, what is, it's a fast. I think it's an interesting subject anyway.
It is, and it's worth talking about, and we're talking about it right now. And
Like this,
there
I'm
you
there.
go.
You go. There you go.
There you
Humongous.
go.
No, it isn't humongous.
That's
Actually,
not the
that
humongous.
is not humongous.
That's what's I can't remember his name. He's the Mohawk guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that laughs at the dude that tries to catch the boomerang and loses his fingers. I can't
Yes,
remember.
the
Yeah, I
kid.
can't.
The
Yeah,
kid.
and then he's got the shotgun.
Yes, the
But
crossbow.
I feel so bad that I don't remember that guy's name. I just remember that just walk away and no one has to die.
I saw that movie when I was about 16, and I think it probably had a. It's really bad.
A
If I had a
lasting
16-year-old, I
effect.
don't know if I'd want him to see it, but I loved it. I've loved it ever since. So we now have the Mad Max, the future.
Yeah, so now you're in dystopian, and I am literally floating above you.
I love
Um,
yours is beautiful, and that's
I
what it should be.
it feels it feels really cool.
Thin
Like
aired.
like if I do this, does it look like I'm really floating in the space
Yes,
station?
yes, that's what it
Like
looks like.
could you and that I guess that comes back around to blurring the lines and
Yeah.
using augmented reality to blur those lines. Like where does it end? Like
I
is
don't know. I mean, why can't we have, this is really out there thinking, but why can't we have some sort of face paint that is like a blank slate that becomes an LED screen or becomes a screen of some sort that it overlays what we want that day on people, like masks, like a real mask. And instead of having them choose what we want, we can then project, because that's a problem with AR, right? Is that it's always what other people are superimposing on other stuff, not on yourself. You can't control that.
Are you saying that my glasses could put a different face on you?
Yeah, sure. If you, well, yeah, not quite yet, I think.
So if I wanted to walk around all day
looking at sea monkeys, I wrote a huge blog post about that
exactly
years ago.
what I wasn't going to say sea monkeys, but I was going to say
no. And then I did a presentation. Where was it? I think it was AWE, where I had a slide. It's my favorite slide ever, where everybody sitting on the subway had a sea monkey head, because this is your future. You can pick to see. I'm in a sea monkey kind of day. There's the sea monkeys. And I think it's great. And they could be informed by such things as their social graph that day. They're in a good mood, they're in a bad mood. The AI can infer their mood and can create their sea monkeyness out of a reflection of what they're doing that day. I mean, there's a whole, I mean, it goes, the rabbit hole is deep. But yeah, I think, why would you want to see the world in any way other than you want to see it, right? And that's where it's going to go. And why do I have to that's where it's going to go. Anyway, that was my theory.
And
I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. Yes.
This goes, is your phone
I didn't turn off the ringer. It's a Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. It's a Cylon.
Oh, okay. It's the
it's Cylon.
That's awesome.
Centurion.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So this goes further
my
than
sci-fi geek creds are definitely being established here.
It's they're on high alert right now. So this goes further than just glasses, though. This goes further than just AR glasses. This goes down the path of Neuralink and what comes beyond Neuralink. And through Neuralink, I mean, I know that, you know, the first iteration of Neuralink is going to be targeted at people who have some form of you know, they've lost the use of their legs, they're paraplegic, they're quadriplegic, they have some form of Parkinson's, and possibly we can targeted electric pulse somewhere can actually negate the tremors that come along with Parkinson's. And maybe we can reverse the effects of Alzheimer's and dementia and things of that nature through Neuralink. And I've listened to a bunch of Elon Musk's talks on Neuralink, and while you could look at that technology as potentially being insanely nefarious,
well, all of this can be,
but all of it can be, it's like, you know, your dog is really sweet until it's trained not to be, kind of thing. If that makes any sense at all.
It's I mean, it's a tool. Technology is a tool. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad, just like any other tool. Butter knife can theoretically also stab somebody, right? So I mean, you could
easily stab somebody with a spoon, and it would hurt a lot worse than if you stabbed them with a knife. Welcome to me.
Especially coming back out.
This is my brain 24/7.
If you twist it, it's really hard to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, we just lost the 3 viewers that we actually had. No, I mean, with the Neuralink thing, though, it brings up the question, if we're going down this rabbit/wormhole, whatever we're going down, if you turn it on, like if someone decides through a Neuralink type device, or even through AR, you know, whether it's something is going to come out in the next 10 to 20 years where you'll be able to wear AR glasses that are 200 plus degree field of possibly contacts, but something that actually fills your peripheral.
Of course, yeah. No,
I Google Glass doesn't do it justice.
Well, it doesn't.
It's a start.
It doesn't have much to connect to yet. That's part of the problem with the glasses. They're out. There's a few that are out that are actually pretty minimal looking, like they just look like glasses for the most part. But there's not that much content yet. And I tried on the Unreal ones at CES, and I mean, if you think we're assaulted by, you know, various points of communication, like my phone, you know, pinging all the time and all that, now wait till we're walking down the street and you've got 3 feeds in front of you, and they're semi-opaque, so you can still see through them, but you've literally got layers of, you know, shit in front of your face the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it's
You know,
that on top of the fact, like what you just said about the sea monkeys.
yeah.
What if somebody goes down the sea monkey path and decides that that's their new reality, or they get stuck in it to the point where that is their new reality? And
Well, why? What's wrong
then
with that?
I don't know. I don't know. But then all of a sudden you have billions of people potentially who literally might not. I gotta stop saying literally. I say that word too much. Who truly don't know what
What is real?
actual reality is.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
reality is in. I mean, it's reality is in your interpretation of it, right? I mean, it's. I mean, to an extent, there's still physics. You're going to run into a wall if there's a wall there, but it's not neo, level of what is real, but reality is how you interpret it. Everybody has different realities, right? And so I think, yeah, if you're a huge fan, I mean, think of the marketing opportunities for this. So you're a big fan of, Neo in the Matrix, to date myself, but whatever. And you decide, that day you're going to have the Matrix be part of your life, and you see the life as a Matrix. Talk about the branding opportunities, marketing opportunities for companies and products to, for fandom, for this tribalism I keep talking about, that you can be part of something that is a small environment, a controlled environment that only you're a part of, and only are a part of when you're walking around. But it's fascinating. I mean, it's I gotta, maybe at some point we'll pull out, if you don't mind, the presentation I did at AWA. I'm not gonna do the presentation, but
yeah.
I talked about a lot of this stuff in there, and I did a day in the life. Like, what is the nearer term, couple years, like what is the impact AR is going to have on our daily life? We're going to have a daily concierge that's going to siphon all our inputs, because there's going to be coming at us even faster than it is now. And and we can put, and today I think I made her, there's a TV show she was a fan of, and so her AI suggested it for the day. So she said, yeah, sure. So that day it was a Wild West kind of a day. So she superimposed on the buildings and the people. And she really hated this one brand on a billboard. So she told her AI to block it so she doesn't see it, so they can include reality if they don't like to see it. And then the impact of that is, as a brand, how do you get in if somebody is like, no, I don't like you, or I don't want anything to do with you. And then it's like, well, you're locked out.
The whole world turns into Adam Savage at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
He rejects your reality and inserts his own.
Insert your own, exactly. And I think, in some ways we already do that. We just haven't been able to make it look that way, unless you're schizophrenic or
So
something
what it,
like that.
I guess a more non-intrusive thought for this tech would be, I could get up out of where I'm sitting right now and walk back towards my den, and we have a purple couch.
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm in an orange couch mood? I can
Make
just
it
change
orange.
my couch to orange.
Yeah, make it orange.
Or I can make our countertops look granite for the day instead of butcher block. Or
If that's your fantasy,
I mean,
that's some pretty heavy duty fantasy going on there,
but
Sean. But
no,
yeah.
what I'm is like, just for tweaking your daily life,
Yeah,
yeah. Like you could literally, like, you could just get in your car, and if you're tired of your red interior, you've got tan interior for the day.
Absolutely.
But it's like, this technology, I've never really looked at it that way. I've always looked at it as either a gaming or a training or a rehab or a therapy tool. But this is going to be,
well, it's gamifying reality, right? It's turning it into entertainment. And I mean, your countertop,
is that good
maybe
or bad?
not.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
I don't know. I think if you have a day when you're not connected, you're going to have a brutal wake up, because you're going to be so used to it.
How many people are going to check out? Like, that's
how many people
huge...
are going to leave their house when they all work from VR anyway? Ooh, she went there.
I mean, that's becoming... It's becoming readily apparent that people don't have to go to the office anymore. At least knowledge workers.
No, yeah. I think Facebook already has announced, was it Facebook or Google or both? They're not going to have people come into their office anymore. Office is expensive.
Twitter definitely announced it.
There was a few, and I'm like, I mean, I knew that was, as soon as COVID hit, I was like, they're going to realize that they can have a decentralized workforce. It's much cheaper to give you a desk and a headset, a VR headset and a camera, than it is to have a cubicle for you, right? Mm-hmm. Commercial. I wouldn't want to invest in commercial real estate anymore, because I think a lot of companies are going to realize it can work, right?
Yeah.
They don't want
to. They already have.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to, but they're all of a sudden they're like, hey, actually, we're getting used to this
Yeah.
now. So, and then people can work from anywhere. So why are big cities, people already leaving New York like crazy. They're just like, why am I paying these rents if I don't have
Right.
to go into the office anymore?
There's a commercial I hear all the time it's on now that's where am I going to live now that I don't have to commute? Like
Yeah,
that's the tagline in this commercial that I'm hearing all the time over the last couple months. And it's
absolutely.
true. I mean, you can live anywhere in the world now. You don't have
Yeah.
to
Time
you
zones, but
well, it
otherwise,
just
yeah.
depends. I mean, it depends on what you do for a living. Like,
Sure.
if
Sure.
you're manufacturing Hondas in Lincoln, Alabama,
Of
then you're
course.
probably going to have to be there in order to do that. But
Well, except that the robots will do it. So there you go.
somebody has to fix the robots. Somebody has to
No,
fix
of
the robot.
course, not everything,
But it
service workers can't be. I mean,
right.
obviously. But between delivery, Amazon's made sure the world's pretty flat for deliveries, right?
Yeah.
And so between that and food delivery and drone delivery,
That's never going to happen.
oh, it already has. They've taken
I
out yeah.
not rural. Maybe in the city, but in rural, man, that is skeet shooting practice 101 for
Yeah.
yeah,
Hawks
that's
don't like it either. There's birds that actually attack them. Hawks
I've
can,
seen
yeah,
eagles and like
yeah.
peregrine falcons and stuff
Yeah,
flying down
I
drones.
mean, that's the smartest way to make sure you don't have drones going around is to get some predator birds.
200-mile-an-hour falcon attack on a
Yeah,
drone. It's
yeah,
it's brutal.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
back to
What
AR.
is reality?
I'm trying
Yes.
back to what is reality. That you just sort of blew my mind. Well, you actually did. You blew my mind there. Like now I'm trying to think of everything that you could attach that to and things that you could go from mundane to
Yeah,
just living out things that you truly want to live out in your life. Like for
yeah,
I'm a car person, and
yeah,
if I could walk outside and turn our Toyota into a Porsche in
yeah.
my brain, and that would, if it would make me happy. See, I like how real is real too. That's
Well, that's the thing. What is real? I mean, it's a basic. I find it fascinating when you talk to various people throughout life, right? Different people muse on different things. Some people are very muse along about philosophy and all this. I'm not like that, really. And some people muse about, I mean, everybody muses, like, where does your brain go when it doesn't have to go anywhere, right? My brain muses to, where are we going to end up? What is, you take all the trajectories and the vectors and you go, well, this is where it's going to be. So that's my happy place. And that's what I think about. It's where my brain goes when I don't have to think about anything. It's like, gee, in 15 years, like, this makes sense that these vectors are going to go this way. And so with the AR stuff, I think, I think what's fascinating. I mean, okay, so my nephew was 11, and when he was like 3, um, he had never experienced entertainment that wasn't on demand. So even by the age of 3, with the little tiny pinchy fingers on the iPad, he was choosing which television to watch and which episodes. Like, he would tell you, I want to see Peppa Pig. I want to see the one where Daddy, jumps in a puddle, whatever it was. And we went on vacation to my mom. My mom's from Holland, and we went to go visit the family when he was 5. And we were staying in a hotel, and he couldn't get the TV to show what he wanted. And you should see the absolute mind-blowing experience this was for him, that he couldn't call up what he wanted when he wanted it on the device he wanted it. Like, and I'm like, okay, so he's going to grow up with, like, I'm thinking about the impact of that on demand life on humans who are basically spend the first, I don't know, 10, 12 years of their life having their ego rounded off. So they can't always have everything. They have to learn to be social. Like, but these kids, a lot of them, they don't have a lot of that, right? They can have it the way they want it. So they're going to be the generation that grows up with everything on demand. And I think that it creates a much more selfish, in a way, person, because you don't have to worry about you don't have to sit through the Woody Woodpecker episode you didn't like after school because that was the one that was on. And you think about immersive tech, it's like the next generation is going to grow up with this 3D world that is invisibly occupying the same space as the real space, and this blurring between what is reality and what is 3D and this immersive world. And I'm wondering, what is the impact that's going to have on the human brain, and what are they going to be like when they grow up, right? So that's what I'm mused about. That's what goes on in my head while I'm, like, cutting vegetables and taking showers and all that stuff. And so that's what I've been thinking about this week, because I'm what I'm going to present to Facebook next week.
No, that's taken me down paths that my brain has really never gone down
Isn't it
before.
cool? It's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, it
Where does
really.
your brain go? When you muse, where do you muse?
I
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
I'm no, I'm literally like
I
I'm
did.
such a I'm such a simple person. Um, I really, my brain goes into like it never shuts off,
Yeah, no, mine doesn't either.
and I'm always thinking about what I need to get done, should have gotten done, could get done, different designs for products that we're
Right.
working on.
Right. Well,
New,
that's ticker tape number 3. I'm talking ticker tape number 5. Like you and I both have ticker tape brains that are like, there's always one running, at least 3, 4, or
yeah,
5
yeah,
running. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I lately it's been my brain is definitely been locked in on trying to figure out ways to get me to live more right now and not
Right. You said that last time. And I
yeah
think
not
that's
not
nice.
20. That's I mean that but that does occupy, like you asked what's occupying my brain right now, and it's really that. I mean it's and maybe that's making me a little more boring than I used to be. I don't know, but
No,
it's
just different.
I'm just trying to slow it down, trying to slow it down and be here kind of
Yeah.
thing. And hopefully that will allow me to reopen my brain back up and go down, because some of these things that you're bringing up, I've never even thought of, just how deeply AR and VR could possibly or will
Yeah.
affect the evolution of
Yeah.
humans.
And it all starts with lenses. I mean, they're quick, they're fun, they're on Instagram and Snapchat, and everybody who's younger is using them. They don't know it's AR per se, they just know it's a lens, but
Right.
it's altering reality and it's changing expectations. It's changing the way they interact with each other. And on a micro scale, I saw myself do it last week with my mom. I mean, I was like, well, shit, I want to look like this all the time, right? I mean, but
I mean, we've been doing it with Photoshop for a couple decades.
of
But
course.
now
But my
it's
mom was blown away at how easy it was to look really good, because being a model, she knows how much work went into the photography and the makeup
right.
and the lighting and all the stuff that goes into that. And then she kind of just looked at me and was like, Christ, you can look that way without any effort. That's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. And the stark reality between what I saw in the mirror that morning, oh God, these earphones, and the Instagram filters that came out of that, quick little sitting on the couch thing was hilarious. But the
The
funny thing is
one,
the pushback I got on it created some serious emotions. And I know that I'm not in the, 20 something teen something, age group, but I had some people who really didn't like it. They were like, I don't like it. It's not real. And I'm like, well, what is real? I mean, it was real enough. It's still me.
I mean, you had fun with it.
I
Like,
had a lot of fun.
why does
They
it
were
matter as long
hysterical.
as you're having fun with it and it's not hurting anyone?
They
Just
were
have fun with it.
hysterical. But define hurt. If that is the image that I'm always putting out there, and I'm a young girl who thinks that this is the norm and this is what I really look like the gap between the expectations and the reality of what, what a real person looks like is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger
Oh,
and bigger.
yeah, it's
We're all
huge.
going to look like anime characters, basically, you know,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
eyes, small nose, the whole.
The one filter that you use where you just gave yourself like a sunburn or like a
Wasn't that good?
suntan,
That was called.
that looked pretty damn real.
That
Actually.
was good. That one was called beach filter or something. It was supposed to make you look like you just got off the beach, and it really did.
Yeah, it looked like bleached hair, little freckles from the
Yeah,
sun,
little freckles
and
from the sun and all. It was really great. I know.
it was crazy.
It was fun. I mean, I was just having a blast, and my mom was, giggling hysterically.
The crazy thing is that we're actually going to be able to apply that 24/7
Yeah.
in the not too distant future.
Well,
Probably could do it now if we really dug into it.
you still have to walk outside the front door, and that's when I wonder about when people won't want to walk out the front door as themselves anymore, because
that was the next
so
question
used
I was
to.
going to ask
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Do you have to walk outside the front door? Because if
We
you
still
live
wanna
in a city right
socialize.
now,
Yeah,
you don't really have to go outside.
I have to get groceries, and even that I could have somebody deliver it, but I go for
They
a
bring it right to
walk.
your door.
They do. You need some exercise.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't ask you, do you need some exercise? I asked, do you have to walk out your door?
Do you have to, other than taking my little 5-month-old puppy to the puppy run so she doesn't tear the house apart? No.
Right. Which is crazy. That in and of itself is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could already be, we could, if we really wanted to, we could plug into the Oasis and never leave, almost.
Absolutely. I mean, food delivery is easy. Object delivery is easy. Um, I mean, if you're talking even clothing, I mean, Amazon, I don't only buy from Amazon. It sounds like I do, but Amazon has this program where they will send you an entire wardrobe of clothes if you want, and you have 7 days to return them, and they don't charge your card till you keep whatever you keep. I mean, they've made it frictionless to actually get stuff in your house and just return it. And it's so easy. And cost of, you don't have to do the, I'll put it on my credit card and return it and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's the world is, it's a service oriented, and yes, I understand all the infrastructure and the angst and the problems that go along with that. But the funny thing is, I know everybody demonizes Amazon. My first comment on that is, Amazon is really just the pipes, right? Most of it is still small, or stores that can now put their products on their platform. So you're still supporting small businesses. It's just being distributed through Amazon.
Right.
Although they have their own product line now. But I ordered some stuff from Macy's actually last week, and the amount of grief getting it delivered properly, and when there's something to go wrong, their customer service isn't nearly the same. And I've gotten very spoiled, I think we all have, by Amazon's service, right?
Yeah.
And I know the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but it's really hard. I will not reorder from Macy's given the amount of grief I've gone through with the deliveries. First, they split it up into multiple deliveries. Then it was all different days. Then one was on the day after Thanksgiving when I wasn't here, but there was no way to change it. And I live on a, brownstone. So it's like they can't put it on the brownstone. It's going to be gone when I get back. Like all this stuff, just so much grief. Whereas with Amazon, and I knew if it was missing, that they would always stand by me, right? And with Macy's, I'm like, I have no idea if I can even reach somebody. Right. So I making life easier. Life is very easy. And I think that, when we get to the point where we can walk wherever we want virtually in a 3D space, what's to stop? I mean, yeah, what's to stop? And I know I talk in anecdotes a lot, but I had a friend who moved from Italy to New Zealand for health reasons. He's in his 60s, and he's from New Zealand, but he lived in Italy for 25 years. And he has a daughter in Italy who he had to leave, a teenager. And I was like, why don't you just get a VR headset and the two of you can meet in your Google mapped world, right? You can meet and walk through the city. There's apps, not great ones yet, but that have 3D mapped the world. And you can go walk through the city of Florence with your daughter who's an avatar.
Right.
Like, again, why do I need to get on a plane if I can do that? So service, convenience, personalization, all that is going to become so ubiquitous and normal that if you don't get it, I think you're going to be very uncomfortable. Like my nephew with his little pinchy fingers.
Yeah, and how real is real? Like,
yeah, and what is real? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit mind blowing to think about it, and to
fun.
know. Well, it's totally fun. It's totally fun, but to see where graphical representations of real world experiences and objects, and it's just everything that goes on in our daily lives.
Yeah.
To watch the evolution of PC technology over the last 4 decades is when I really started to kind of, about 10 years old is when I started really paying attention to the gaming evolution, and then being a part of it for the last couple decades.
You're so much more into that than I am. It's your expertise and not mine at all.
It's mind
yeah, I'm sure,
to see where we were. Like, I could pull out stuff that we developed 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And look at things that we were like, it's never going to get any better than this, as far as lighting and just the overall quality of the textures on the models and, and the environments that we created and everything. And then you look at the stuff that's being done today.
And it's like drag and drop, right? Web-based stuff. I know.
Unbelievable. It's the things that you can do now with lighting.
Yeah, I know.
And just
I've been playing with it. It's fascinating. It's like physics. It's funny. The digital is recreating the real, and the real is getting changed by it's a circle. It's a cycle. It's interesting.
Yeah, we're already to the point where we talked, I think on the last show, we talked about deep fakes a little bit. I mean, we're going to get to a point, I think, where
You
we're
can't tell.
actually, well, it's not that we can't tell. Like, if you were to deep fake something and I were to look at it, I already probably, I mean, I'd have to really look hard to be able to tell.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we're fooling ourselves.
Well, I mean, think of the political ramifications. There have been so much disinformation in this last couple of years already. And that's because everybody will instantly go, oh, it's Photoshop. And then everybody's trying to see if there's any pixels that don't line up. Like we can't even tell anymore. Everybody knows Photoshop fakes pictures. So what happens when we can't use videos
Right.
as so all those people who were recorded Holocaust victims to make a record of what it was like to be in the camps and that it actually existed, that that whole effort that's being done, and all the deniers just go, yeah, it isn't real because it's not real, it's fake. And there is no video proof. And then there's like what is real becomes even more of a question, because real really is going to be what you decide it is. And you don't trust anything. You don't trust your eyes. You don't trust your ears. Like, what do you trust? You trust things that you trust. And that's where the tribalism I keep talking about, I think, comes back,
How
because
many years are we away from the potential to have someone elected to public
yeah,
office
yeah.
that literally doesn't exist? And I'll bring out the word
Oh,
literally again for that.
I don't know.
You can fake the
That's
crowd, you can
that's a
fake the
while
venue,
off.
you can fake the person, you can fake,
They can
you
fake
can,
all the visuals. What's harder is the artificial intelligence, natural language, and the intelligence that goes into that. That is still farther off than everybody keeps thinking, because everybody uses the word AI, and it's actually not nearly that close yet. I think that's going to take longer, because that has to inform this digital avatar artificial human.
but we've gotten to the point where the social experiment, well, it's not a social experiment anymore. Social media is
Yeah.
a very big part of most people's lives
Yeah. Yeah.
globally these days.
Yeah.
That social machine gets engaged in the augmented reality side of a campaign to put an entity that truly it's not human
Yeah.
into an office and creates the hype and puts the stories in front of the public that gets
Yeah.
the
Well,
public en masse to go, yeah, we identify with this person that doesn't exist.
it's the definition of propaganda, right?
It really is, but it's propaganda on a level that,
Has never been able to be exist. I
yeah,
agree. I
yeah,
agree.
it's that ties it back around to the AR VR, us
It's a
not
scary. I
leaving
think
the
it's scary.
house.
I think it's scary. I really first of all, there are already artificial humans, not that are fully walking, talking, can converse with us, and we never know the difference. There's a company called Neon that I saw their unveiling in CES, and it wasn't quite artificial humans yet, and they admitted as such. They got it. It was a 4 month. They launched, and they just did a big splash. There's a couple other companies. There's Soul Machines. There's a few others that are going there, and I think there's a couple of agencies now that have digital artificial humans
Yeah,
as models, and
yeah,
they never gain weight, they never have a
right,
tabloid mistake, they never go off brand unless you want them to because it's part of your
right.
plan, like all this stuff. Like, it's much cheaper and much more controllable than a human, but they still have humans that are doing all that. It's not an autonomous
Yeah, I
individual.
saw there was it was at one of the auto shows I went to a couple years ago. I think it was the Apex show.
Mm,
They had it was like a clear, uh, like almost like a clear human body
right, a
with a
holograph.
projector throwing a hologram into
Right,
this clear, but it was the hologram was being created in real time, and there was
that's
actually an
amazing.
actor behind the
Right,
scenes
right, I've seen that.
that
Yeah,
was like but they weren't even in Vegas. They were
right,
like wherever in the
right,
world, and you could
right,
walk up to this thing and go, "When will I be able to get the blah blah
right,
blah widget, whatever?"
right.
And she was like, "Oh well, that will be available," and
So
it
yeah,
was so real, it was ridiculous.
so when this is January, but so not Soul Machines, Neon, what had, I mean, they have an AI that converts. So they had the AI as far as the artificial human that they were presenting was reading a book, and it looked human. I think they'd scanned people and then rigged them. I don't think it was a created entity out of cat or anything. but it looked like a human or various humans. And they were talking like, and they had emotion. And the AI part of it was that they were reading storybooks for children, and that they had never read that book before, but they properly had the right intonation, the right places to stop. Like they had enough intelligence to be able to not just read the words in a line like
Right.
it does on Gutenberg or something like that. So that was the AI part. It wasn't quite, but I think if you asked that AI a question that was way outside the peripherals of what the discussion was about, they wouldn't be able to answer it yet. Like it's not a
Okay.
learning algorithm just yet.
It's close.
But it's going to take
yeah.
longer to get to how than I think people realize right now.
Hmm.
This is it.
All of it's incredibly interesting, though.
It is. It is.
The should we wrap it up? Because we want
Yeah, let's
to
keep it
keep these a
short.
little bit shorter than we have in the past.
Why don't we, if anybody watches to this point, why don't we ask people to write in the comments what they would like us to explore? Is there anything that people are like, I'd really love to hear you guys talk about this when it comes to immersive tech? I would love to hear, what people want to know about, or
give us some ideas?
comments on,
because I mean, we know what we want to talk about, but we need to know what you want us to talk about. Yeah, definitely. That's a great idea.
I just, let's see if there are any burning questions, or if there's any, feedback on what we said that they're like, I've challenged you on this, and then we can have more discussion around it.
I can't wait till we get to the point where we're comfortable with opening up a live chat component
and we can do that.
potentially going live.
I'm up for that.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. So
I'm up for that.
Look for that in the future of Talking Spatial.
Is that your radio announcer voice?
Actually, that was a terrible. If that was my radio announcer, terrible.
And
I could go to like a sepia tone screen. On the next episode of Talking Spatial, we go back to the 40s.
Yeah, we could do that. Our
microphone we could go with augmented reality from a 40s perspective.
I want to be Betty Boop.
Let's not. Okay, well, yeah. Let's do then. Let's do that. You could use one of your filters.
Some of Betty Boop stuff is pretty damn psychedelic if you're watching.
Yeah.
It was pretty out there, some of it.
Yeah, she's just the giant head on the small body thing is.
No, there was one. I made my nephew watch it. He loved it. It is truly, some people were on some serious drugs when they put it together. It's so weird. It's so weird. And I think when you think of the past, you think it's always serious, but actually they weren't. It was out there weird.
No, I mean cartoons in general, like the first batches of cartoons, those people were out there. And just in case anyone ever thinks that Walt Disney had never done a drug in his life, I have one word, and that word is Fantasia.
I know. It's
Good
beautiful.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I think
he had to be out of his mind.
Yeah.
And so did the people drawing it. Yeah, dancing brooms and candlesticks. Why not?
Why not?
All right, I think we're going to end it there this week.
All right.
Thanks for tuning into Talking Spatial. Again, I had it right.
I'm this way today.
Linda.
And that's Sean.
Yeah. Oh, see, you got it wrong.
Toe cutter.
You had it wrong.
I know. Is it toe cutter? I can't believe I don't know this. I can't believe this. It's my own background. His name.
I just I remember 2 men enter, 1 man leave. That was the Thunderdome.
Wasn't that the third one though? That was like with the kids. Thing. Ooh, and kids!
Then, just walk away. That's really the big thing. That, and I remember that the Interceptor that Mel Gibson drove.
Interceptors, yes.
The whole concept of being able to turn the blower on and off. Car, yeah, that's crap. So yeah.
See, this I don't know.
Yeah, and we'll leave you with that. That is movie magic, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
So we're gonna hang up, and I'm just gonna say bye,
bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back next week with more. And yeah, please drop in the comments. What do you want to talk about? What do you want us to talk about?
I would love to know what people are thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, do you want us to talk about Xstall and Barrio and current gen headsets, or do you want us to get more philosophical and deep? I think we're more philosophical and deep than we are.
The headsets will continue to develop. There's not much for me to say on that. They're going to keep getting better. So
I could say a lot. I could say a lot about it. Basically, I would like to start a GoFundMe, and I would like an Xstall. really, really, really would like an Xstall, dear Santa. I'm gonna stop recording because we could just keep going. Y'all have a great rest of the week.
All right.
We will talk. Bye. Bye. Bye now. Bye-bye from the space station.